I, 27 female, am the second youngest in a family of 7. I have 2 brothers and 4 sisters. The restaurant's owned by my sister Daisy, 28. Daisy and I are both close to other members of our family, but she and I were never close, and she's been pretty awful to me over the years. She'd try to get other siblings to exclude me, and when they wouldn't, she'd say mean things to me. We shared a room until we were 18, and she made the experience miserable for me. She'd beg to get her own room, or say she wanted to share with another sister. But being as close in age as we were, our parents decided we needed to keep sharing. She ruined some of my things when she was trying to get our parents to separate us. She ignores me as an adult. I was the only person excluded from her 21st birthday party, college graduation, and so on. We see each other when we're with our parents or if we have something going on in the family. Our younger brothers asked her in the past why she hates me so much when she doesn't hate anyone else, and she told him I ruined her life. She didn't give much more information. I just ruined her life. She said she wished Mom had aborted me and she'd been happier. She also said she despised every second of sharing a room with me and wished I could have been kidnapped to get me out of her hair. I heard this and I was like, fine. You know what? I have 5 amazing siblings. 5 siblings are enough. Daisy and I aren't sisters. We're just 2 people who happen to share a family. I knew nothing about Daisy opening a restaurant until it was almost time. She told everyone else, but not me, of course. It was mentioned in passing in front of me, which is how I learned about it. But my parents wanted the family to support her and decided we should all have a family dinner there to do that. I refused to go. I said I wasn't supporting her. My parents told me I needed to go. Most of my siblings weren't surprised. One kind of was, but still agreed with me. They told our parents that it made 0 sense for me to be there, and Daisy would hate seeing me in her place anyway. Our parents were like, family supports each other, and all kinds of crap. I ended up not going. 2 of my siblings left during dinner because they were being told about me not showing up. My parents said I should have put our differences aside and shown Daisy what family does for each other. They told me she should have come around to me. Am I the idiot for not attending a family dinner at my sister's new restaurant because it would have supported my sister? Your parents actually said that, essentially, if you pay her, she may decide she doesn't hate you anymore? Seriously? No way, you're not the idiot. You took the high road that makes you both happier. Would you even be able to trust any food she served you? Not that I think she'd poison you, but it sounds like she'd be perfectly happy to do something unpleasant to it. I wouldn't personally trust anything she gives me, no. She'd totally spit in my food out of pure dislike for me. Or she'd sneak in something she knows I can't stand, like mushrooms. I have no real idea why she hates me. My assumption ever since she told our brother that I ruined her life was that she hated that I was the youngest girl. Pro tip: if you're ever in the situation where you have to go to her restaurant, order the exact same meal your mother does. When they arrive at the table, switch plates and see if she reacts. But if you don't think she did anything to it, why does it matter if we switch plates? We ordered the same thing. Ooh, that's a perfect move. Of course this will upset Mom. How dare you accuse your sister of tampering with your food? What's wrong with you? And probably cause a scene, but I'd totally do it. Your parents need to realize that you and your sister are beyond living with their shoulds. You are adults and able to choose who you spend time with. Refuse to discuss it, or her, with them. If the family supports each other, where was your parents' support when Daisy treated you like crap? Your parents should hold themselves and Daisy accountable, not you. They should have addressed this situation 2 decades ago, and they should have kept their mouths shut about it at dinner. They don't deserve the illusion of the happy family they failed to nurture. If Daisy still holds on to this childish resentment, she needs some serious counseling, and she too should be blaming your parents, not you. We had a bachelorette party in Vegas last weekend and hit up a steakhouse and drinks at the club. The shows we visited were all on our own cards, and so was the steakhouse. But my friend put her card down for buying drinks and appetizers at the club. I don't drink. I haven't drank since college. I'm 32 now, and all my friends know this. I had a custom mocktail, which cost $20 to $25, and sparkling water. We agreed beforehand to split the bill, but I took that to mean food. We had appetizers, and not that I would be required to pay for drinks. The other girls did order 2 champagne bottles along with the cocktails. Then we got back home, and I got a Venmo request for $470, which shocked me. I called my friend to ask what the breakdown was, and they said it was split. I said it was quite a bit. As I remembered, we ordered 4 appetizers that were $30 to $40 each, so my share of that shouldn't be that high. She got annoyed and told me that we agreed to split the bill, and I said I did, but only for the appetizer. She said she didn't take photos of the bill and has no idea what anyone ordered, so I should agree to pay my share. I said I didn't drink, so I only needed to share the mocktail. She said everyone was pretty wasted, so it was hard to determine who drank what, and since I didn't keep track, I should just pay for it. By my calculations, I owe about $60 to $70, but since I didn't keep the receipts, she's insisting I pay the whole $470. I'm very unhappy with the situation and told another friend about this. She acknowledged that I owed way less than what I was being told to pay, but said that out of the girls, I clearly had the best job, and 2 of the friends were living with their parents and working near minimum wage. I should just pay and call it even. I'm feeling like I got fleeced because my flights and hotels weren't even as expensive as this one night out. Not the idiot. As a non-drinker outside of the occasional glass of wine, I firmly believe bar tabs should be separate from food. If people want to get their drink on, it's fine and dandy. Expecting non-drinkers to foot the bill and subsidize it is unreasonable. If it was a bachelorette, you may consider chipping in a bit to cover the bride, but not $470. Oh, heck no. Also, the vast majority of restaurants have their menus on the website. You should be able to work out your costs by looking it up. Splitting works if everyone shares everything, including alcohol or drinks every day, equally. On your specific trip, you were literally subsidizing other people by being asked to pay equally. Also, I don't care that the 2 live at home with their parents. They shouldn't have ordered beyond their means if they can't afford to pay. Here's the issue. If you don't pay, you might be uninvited to the wedding, or you might end up being made to feel very uncomfortable, even ostracized at the wedding. So if you're okay knowing that either of those possibilities will likely come to fruition, you do you. I personally would not pay. I would also not care if this ruined friendships, because only a bunch of idiots would ever dream of making someone help pay for their drinks. A few cocktails are one thing, but bottles of champagne territory suggests they were taking advantage at that point. Update. Thanks for your advice. I got the bill, and I owe $81, including a tip. The bill is $470 split 5 ways, but the 2 bottles are over $500 each, which is insane. We didn't agree to split the bride's share, but I texted the bride to let her know I covered my share of her portion. I sent $240 to the girl and sent her the receipt that I got to prove that I paid my portion and 1/4 of the bride's. She hasn't responded, so I hope this is over. My husband and I have been together for about 10 years and have a young grammar school-age daughter together. I'm also currently 8 months pregnant. My husband has a teen daughter with his ex-wife. They divorced when she was 2. They shared custody 50-50 until she was about 5, when his ex moved with her parents to another state, where they still currently live. It's about a 4.5-hour drive. She's always spent 6 weeks in the summer with him and us, visits for a week or so at a time during a couple of holidays and school breaks, and regularly joins us for vacations. He and we travel to visit for her birthday every year and drive out for her band performances and major events. She has a room here and recently has asked us to move in with us after the school year ends due to issues she's having at school, which everyone is fine with. The issue is she has a very unhealthy relationship with food. She's been raised that way by her mom and grandmother. Her mom's whole side of the family are very fat positive. Her mom's around 400 pounds and very anti-diet, despite being a type 2 diabetic and having other health issues. From my experience, she's a binge eater, as is her mom and siblings, and unfortunately my stepdaughter as well. Everything in their house revolves around eating to excess. She's a teen, is 5'2", and over 250 pounds, and bullying at school is a big part of the reason she wants to go to school here next year. She missed so much school, and because of that, she's a year behind. We aren't health nuts by any means, but we do try to eat fairly healthy in our homes. We allow treats, but only in moderation. An ongoing issue we've had when stepdaughter visits is that she wants a lot of junk food in the house: soda, candy, cookies, ice cream, chips, etc. She'll take huge servings or eat straight from the package in large amounts. For example, she'll grab a new pack of Oreos, bring it in the living room to watch a movie, and eat half of it or more in one sitting. She'll drink 4 or 5 cans of soda a day. Her dad has tried talking to her about it, but her response is that she's fine the way she is, and he needs to stop trying to force her to lose weight. It's usually followed by an angry call from his ex. We'll keep some ice cream or cookies in the house and have them here and there, but they usually last for a few weeks. When she visits, they're always gone almost instantly, and she regularly goes to the store or orders more with the money her mom gives her. My main concern is our daughter's getting older, and I'm concerned about this behavior being modeled for her. I also don't want the house full of unhealthy food or my daughter thinking it's a normal or acceptable way to eat. I don't mind her having a treat here and there, but in my opinion, stepdaughter's a binge eater and has been raised to think it's okay, and I really don't want that for my daughter. I understand it's a sensitive topic, but I don't want my daughter to face the struggles my stepdaughters now and will face in the future. I'm not sure how to address it, and I'm not sure if it makes me the idiot. Unfortunately, new school will be no different than the last one. No matter where you go, there you are. Fat positive is supposed to be about having a healthy relationship with your own image and using that as a vehicle for having a healthy relationship with food and finally having a healthy body. You may be a little overweight or underweight and don't have the most good-looking body, but you're not anxious about it and don't let it control your life. It is not a get-out-of-jail-free card to bully people into accepting that obesity is healthy, because it's not. And most people who try to argue the opposite are basically lying. She's eating garbage and it shows. Call it what it is. There's nothing positive about killing yourself with trash food. If the issue is bullying and she's trying to avoid that, then she needs to lose weight. Does she think the kids at the new school won't do the same? Look, I just tell her, we won't have all that junk food in our house. We do things differently here. My kid will not be around it. My house, my rules. Living here, you'll follow them. Let her know before she moves, so she can decide if that change is worth it or not. Gonna say everyone's the idiot here. Is your stepdaughter in therapy? As a person with a binge eating disorder, if you have a concern regarding her intake, that's something she should discuss with a specialist to ascertain if she does have an unhealthy relationship with food and work through it. I would suggest, as part of her moving in, that she goes to therapy to support the transition, and you all get family therapy as well to navigate hiccups. She needs to see a fat-positive eating disorder specialist. Putting restrictions or harping on it isn't going to fix anything. Not engaging with a professional, but trying to force something on her when, by your own words, you're not a health expert, would move you to you are the idiot territory. About a year ago, my mother suffered a health crisis, and as a result, I, 28 male, moved back in with her to take care of her. She still has some independence, but I drive her to and from doctors, go shopping for her, help with cleaning, etc. She can wash herself, walk around the house, etc., but not much more. My father died a few years back, and up until I moved back in, she's been living on her own. Very recently, my sister, 30, and her husband, 30, separated on bad terms. Don't want to go into details, but it's a fairly hostile situation. My sister has 2 boys, a toddler and a preschooler, and as a result, hasn't worked in quite some time. Now she's in the process of trying to find a job, but with the children, that's difficult. Because of this, my mother suggested that she move back in so she could look after the children. I strongly oppose this. I feel for my sister, but my mother can't even really look after herself anymore, let alone provide childcare for 2 young children. If she moved in, her children would definitely become my responsibility, even though they both deny that, and I can't and don't want to add that to my plate. My sister and mother also argued that she could help with taking care of my mom, but honestly, she wouldn't be much help, and it certainly wouldn't make up for the added burden of having an infant and a small child in the home. The house is big enough in terms of rooms for her to move in without a problem, but the fact that all the caretaking duties would inevitably fall onto me makes me want to put my foot down. I feel like a complete idiot, but I've considered telling my mother that I'll move out if my sister moves in. Edit. I work full-time. I pay for my own expenses and most of my mother's as well. My mom's monthly pension can't cover her cost anymore due to increased medical cost. The reason why I don't think my sister will be able to look after her own kids or help with our mom is because the whole point of her moving in is so that she can get help with childcare and get a job. If she could work and provide for her kids on her own, she wouldn't need to be moving in the first place. My sister is not escaping an abusive relationship. I said hostile to indicate that they were on bad terms and not speaking to each other. But she wasn't being abused, and she wasn't fleeing from him. If she were, that would be a totally different situation. She lives alone with her kids in their apartment, co-owned by her and her husband, and he's currently paying the utility cost. Not the idiot. I feel for your mom and sister, but you can't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. If your sister can't even look after herself, the responsibilities of caring for her and her children will absolutely fall on you. That is an entirely untenable burden for you when you're presumably already pretty overstretched, being a young working adult and a carer. Unfortunately, it's your mom's decision who moves into our house. I suggest moving out if she moves in, but consider bringing in a carer for your mom. If your sister does indeed move in and you move out, this risks your mom being neglected, so the carer will ensure her safety. While your suggestion looks appealing on paper, do you realize that mom and sister will expect the caregiver to look after the kids, not mom, and that'll cause issues depending on where they are. Also, a registered health caregiver would be very expensive for the needs his mom requires. Someone who needs help for herself cannot be in charge of 2 small children. If your sister moves in, you will be responsible for the kids. If they move in, you move out and just come by to take your mother to the doctor and buy groceries. Your sister has to handle her own life. Honestly, have a conversation with your mom, and it doesn't have to involve your sister, as it's your mother's choice. All actions have consequences, and before she starts deluding herself that this will all work out, she needs to be told the reality of the situation she could soon face.